2019 to order. Madam Clerk, would you like to? Roll call. All right. Please rise for the prayer.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk.
Pray with me, please. Heavenly Father, we ask that you bless these proceedings. May everything said and done here be according to your will. May it benefit the citizens of Jersey County. We ask it in Jesus' name.
Amen. And the roll call.
Mr. Kruger?
Here.
Herback? Here. Mr. Heisig?
Here.
Mr. Kanelican? Not here. Ms. Drainer? Here. Mr. Tomzer?
Here.
Ms. Mossman is absent. Mr. Koenig is absent. Ms. Hefner? Here. Mr. Wagner?
Here.
Mr. Hayes?
Here.
Chairman Little?
Here. And with 9, we do have a quorum. Approval of the minutes from May 14th. Is there any corrections, clarifications? If not, can I have a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
I'll make it.
Motion by Ms. Rayner, second by Ms. Hefner. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Audit of the bills. Right. Okay. Mr. Kruger.
We met before the meeting, the Finance Committee, and we reviewed the bills. There was a total of $94,504.70, which included $7,147.21 for board pay, which was 2 months. It was April and May. And make a motion that we pay the bills.
Is there a second? Mr. Heisig, second. Any questions? Roll call. Yeah.
Ms. Herback?
Yes.
Mr. Heisig?
Yes.
Ms. Drainer?
Yes.
Mr. Tomzer?
Yes.
Ms. Hefner?
Yes.
Mr. Wagner?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Chairman Little?
Yes.
Mr. Kruger?
Yes.
Okay, at your seats is a report from the Partners in Progress regarding the Mid-American International Gateway Project. I would draw your attention to a couple items. One is with the failure of the West Central Development Council to have a current comprehensive economic development strategy document. This could result in the flooded area's inability to apply for federal EDA funding should it be available. Grafton and Elsa and unincorporated portions of Jersey County, as well as portions of Calhoun and Greene counties, could be impacted. JEDC is working with Congressman Davis's office and the EDA to create a SEDS alternative for the 3-county region in case of a federal disaster declaration and availability of EDA funding. JEDC participated in a conference call with Congressman Davis's staff and EDA on June 6th. Along with that, I mentioned this last month, West Central Development Council filed a formal complaint with EDA regarding an alleged comment or comments made by one of the EDA employees related to West Central Council as a whole, and some alleged statements involving West Central personnel. This action has postponed progress on the JERSEYVILLE, Jersey County EDA grant application. Along with that, been advised by Sherry Albrecht that JEDC with the Enterprise Zone Management Organization has decided to waive Enterprise Zone application fees for flood-related rehab projects. The JEDC is working with Grafton leadership to coordinate programs. Property owners can submit an application to Sherry Albrecht, the zone administrator, to receive a sales tax exemption on construction materials. There is a waiver of the application fee for any project involving construction directly related to flood damage. Property owners can contact Sherry Albrecht at 217-556-8696 or Mayor Eberlin for details. There's some other information that's related to the project. With that, I'd like to introduce some folks to make some informational presentations. I had the pleasure last week of meeting Kylie Rohde, who through her own initiative has been raising funds for flood relief through the sale of lemonade. Kylie, if you'd like to come up, tell the board, we won't buy it, I promise. Right there is the microphone. If you want to, Tom, if you could help her. If you'd like to tell the board what you've been up to and how much money you've raised, and I think they'd be very interested in hearing what you have to say.
Hi, my name is Kylie Rohde, and I'm 9 years old. I'm having a lemonade stand, and I've donated $248 to the flood victims. I'm having it this weekend at Outrageous Outdoors from 9 to 4 p.m.
Questions for Ms. Rohde?
Where's your stand at?
Outrageous Outdoors this weekend, Friday through Sunday, 9 p.m. to 4.
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
Kylie, as I told you, I think the sheriff and other individuals, that is an outstanding project to have. It shows terrific initiative on your part to undertake such a project, to try and help people that you may not even know. So you are to be congratulated, and most importantly, thanked for your efforts to help people. Thank you very much. Do you have anything else to say? Okay. All right. Thank you. Sheriff, did you want to lead off, or have you guys drawn straws as far as?
No, we haven't really drawn straws.
Okay.
But you can go if you want to.
Okay, we'll get to that.
As far as floods going, everything's going about as good as be expected. Not too much more to say than that. We've certainly worked closely with IEMA, Illinois Emergency Management Agency, ILEAS, Illinois Law Enforcement Alarm System, the Illinois State Police, the National Guard, the MABUS system, Mutual Aid Box Alarm System, all of our local entities, QEM, Rosedale Fire, and if I may take a minute, I can express to you how proud I am the deputies, dispatchers, corrections officers, Jersey County Sheriff's Office who've been acting above and beyond and pulling extra hours as we all have. They've been outstanding, and we got a long way to go. The fight's certainly not over. Water is going down a little bit, but we'll just see how much it entails.
Okay. Any questions?
Make Mike say something. He's been working really hard. Larry Mead has some health issues he's battling right now. Mike stepped in, took over.
Mike Morgan is filling in for Larry Mead. Larry is in preparation to have some surgery done, so he had to be vigorously talked into surrendering his duties, but which shows how much of a trooper Larry is.
That is.
On this. But Mr. Morgan, if you'd like to give any information.
Thank you for your time. Y'all may know me from seeing me or something. I do have a background, and I'm not going to labor you with that right now. But I try not to get too emotional. I love a challenge. If it's impossible, call me. If it's hard, get somebody else. We've had some synergies, and as the sheriff has shared, he's trusted me with the power to take care of this issue and work as a team. So I stand before you tonight. Don't thank me, thank everyone else, because it was a team that accomplished things. The word synergy, add them all up, all the people. And when you put them together as a unit, it far exceeds that total. We had tremendous synergy. In all my years in industry and working in teams and doing hard projects, I have never seen a diverse group of people accomplish what we have done. Of all the people that Sheriff has cited from the state agencies, I'm so grateful. For Keith Dorman, who come together with his mayor, Billy Russell. Billy called Keith every day and said, what can we do to help? What can we do to help? For Keith Dorman, going to the superintendent and saying, hey, Jerseyville has some need, possibly some schools, and the superintendent's response, we receive taxes, the people that need help are taxpayers, whatever you got, whatever you need, you've got. Goosebumps when I heard that. We had 4 schools we occupied with these agencies, and we had so many people that stepped up in this community that recognized this need. I was present at a restaurant with my wife, those few times where we had some quality time together during this, and just to enjoy and kind of get the family thing going. And I observed 19 of these people the guard and the rescue team, the Swiftwater rescue team, were here in town. And the meals, guess where they were? The bridge was out and they were over to Hardin. And they went and decided we would go to a restaurant. People observed them there. The owner of the restaurant observed them there. And the owner paid for half the meal. Someone in that restaurant from one of our churches stepped up and says, I'll cover the other half. And then someone in the community found out that the church had stepped up, and they provided them the support to continue with those meals and help provide breakfast and even dinner at times. These guards, the National Guard and the Swiftwater Rescue, said, we've never had this happen before. This is special. What kind of unity do we have here in this community? Well, I know. We've had some challenges. We've had the challenges down at Grafton. Very tough times. There was some close calls as far as with the flood and the sandbagging and some different things. We continued in the service. And by the way, I'm not here vying for a position. My nickname out there is from Larry Mead. I'm Temporary Larry. I'm Temporary Larry. And I'll speak to him at the end. But as I went into these places and talked with mayors, and talked with fire chiefs, and talked with public works directors, what can I do to help? Compassion, empathy. In the time of need, when Nutwood was up there, I met with him that morning when the levee was yet to fail. And the unknown is terrible. It's tougher on anybody, but it was tough on them. And we just got together and circled around and we talked. and you flip a light switch. See, that's what the community's about. We have a diverse group of people, and I want to thank you for your representation to them, because it's more than just words, it's action. And what we do as a team, as a group, as leadership, reflects on the people. One of the toughest days, one of the dispatchers came in and said, Mike, can you come in here for a second? We need your help. Don, you just happened to walk in the door that day, the sheriff. And I needed a little refresh. The EOC that was in the sheriff's office. And there's a sweet young lady over here. You heard her story. And she said, here it is. I want to give this to you. And she explained why. You know what she said then next? I'll be back tomorrow. Now that's consistency in our young people, and that's focus, and that's vision. And then I saw her, and she came back 3 times after that first event. It's been good. It's been a privilege. And thank you for allowing the opportunity to be part of this. Keep Larry in your prayers. I've known him for 50 years. If he's got any things you want to aggravate him about, tell him that Mike caused it when he was young, because he grew up in my neighborhood. He's a great, great person, and a man of, you can depend on what he says he does. We had a team there. Ray Sinclair over here. What do you need, Mike? How can I help? The synergy. Rob Hedger. What do you need, Mike? How can I help? And the special needs, the inquiries from the, I'll take care of it, I'll take care of it. And that is how leadership is. It's not management, it's leadership. And you all exemplify that. And I thank you, and I'll shut up now, go sit down.
Thank you. Philip Harris with the Red Cross, all the way from North Carolina.
Yes, my name's Phil Harris. I'm the executive director of a chapter in North Carolina. We have our flooding a little differently. We have hurricanes that come and sit over us, and so we've had 2 500-year hurricanes in 2 years. So, but the Red Cross model is for everybody to run toward the emergency, and that's what we're doing here. So I've come to help, be the eyes and ears on the ground, communicate with emergency management, communicate with you all. The chairman has my card. We have a great shelter over at East Elementary School. The unfortunate thing, we had no takers. The reason is you've got a resilient community. You've got people that take care of each other, but we still will have that shelter on standby. So we don't want people to get in harm's way. We don't want people to take extraordinary risks. So we have that shelter. The school has been very gracious. The community's been very gracious. So that's what I'm seeing in this community. So the Red Cross is built on volunteers. So we're a small staff, but we've had people come from across the country. So we've had people come from another Jersey to come here. So that's the Red Cross model, but we also want people to get involved locally, and we've had a lot of people walk up, so maybe we can get some opportunities to expand our volunteer base. But we're still standing by. As the water recedes, we'll work with damage assessment and see what other needs are. So right now we're in the sheltering business, but we haven't had a lot of call for that. So, but I'm very thankful for the community stepping forward. But everywhere I go, I talk about the availability of the shelter, and they go, we're fine. We're looking after each other, and that must be the way your community operates. So you should be proud of that. But the Red Cross is here. We've been doing it over 130 years, but we'll continue to do it. So great partnerships with emergency management, sheriff, the school system, and so I couldn't thank you enough for your support. And we'll be here, and hopefully we don't have another one 93 or this year. So thank you for your continued support in the community.
Thank you. Go back, public comment. Is there any public comment, questions, or other?
Yeah.
You come up, state your name.
My name is Peter Allen. I'm a resident of Grafton, an alderman of the 1st Ward. in the city of Grafton and a business owner. A few weeks ago, I was able to attend a meeting. The chairman, I believe Mr. Wagner, was there, a supervisor of assessments, the sheriff. During the discussion, a possibility of waiving late fees for business owners in the city of Grafton was raised. And I don't know if that's on the agenda tonight, but I wanted to speak for it. I also have observed the good works that's been going on down there from the National Guard, IEMA, the Sheriff's Department, the Grafton PD, and the mayor, and it's been dramatic. I get goosebumps talking about it, but things are tough down there, and I've an unofficial poll of a lot of businesses, 80% seems to be about the sales number that is down year to year from last year. Some are at 100. Some have not even been able to open. And the possibility of paying taxes, of course you pay your taxes, but paying them a little later than is standard would be monumental help to not only me, it would certainly help me because we're in a tough situation now too, but a lot of businesses are on the edge of failing, and this little extension of the ability to pay would be of great help. I wanted to bring that thought to you, and thank you for your consideration.
Okay. Anyone else?
I've got several things. One of the first issue is that a couple weeks ago, I sent the county board chairman an email asking for specific things that the county had been doing, who they'd been talking with regard to the flood and the issues that the county was facing. I put in the letter that I needed it by noon the next day. If I didn't get the response, I would put the questions out there and say that he did not respond. One of the problems that we have in this county is that there is no public information officer as such. So you've got lots of departments that are doing lots of good works, but nobody has access to them necessarily because they're busy. They've got their things that they're doing. Okay? So, okay. If a person doesn't want to respond, during the public comment period, if people think that it's more important to talk about someone's raccoon problems rather than economic development, that's their business. But we live in a different time. We don't live in a time where it's a piece of printed newspaper that comes out a week later. Whatever gets done today, people can read about it tonight or they can see it tomorrow. All right? So the days of long delay times and getting to kind of filter what people see, those things don't exist anymore. And people don't rely on Facebook necessarily for good, hard information. You guys as a board have an obligation, I would think, to disseminate information and to make it available to people that's reliable, that people know what's going on if people need resources. I don't know how many times, well, it's on Facebook, or we tweeted about it. People don't necessarily know where to find that. We deal with that kind of stuff all the time with coaches and things like that, that they say, oh, well, if you just follow us or whatever. There's not enough hours in the day to track it all down, and it's easier if someone makes it so that there's one repository of that information. The other thing is about economic development. Last year I asked about economic development, and I got basically dressed down about what a great job the economic development team is doing. But since that time, I've not seen one subcommittee meeting that deals with economic development as such. There's been lots of meetings with regard to tourism, but there hasn't been any with economic development. And then at the beginning of this meeting, it seems as if someone's abdicated their responsibility to development to someone who does not receive a paycheck from the county, because the Jerseyville Economic Development Commission, or whatever they're known as, whatever name they're taking, they're not your employee. They don't have an obligation to work on your behalf. They don't. They're paid by Jerseyville. That's who they're paid by. And to believe that Miss Albrecht, well, she might be a great person, is working on your behalf, there is nothing that binds her and makes it certain that she works on your behalf, ever. ever. So we have no economic development agency. The person that you're allowing to do economic development is not even an employee of the county. That's problematic. The third thing that I'd like to bring to the table here is that we got a pipeline that's come through this county. That pipeline is going to carry high pressure natural gas. Fine, it's through here. But the problem is with that is that everybody whose land that pipe touches, depending upon how you calculate it, what calculation you use, you have to have a radius of safety to either side of that pipeline. The most current one that the federal statute lets you get by with is around 600 feet either side of that pipe, okay? But the more commonly accepted ones that are more recent say that, well, that's really not enough and it should be about 3 times farther than that, all right? So, you've got a group of people that just took the money, gee whiz, it's found money. The next group of people said, well, you know, yeah, we don't want the pipeline in our backyard, but we're going to take whatever it is that we can get, I guess. Then you've got a group of people that are actively resisting because they realize that the value of that property that they're going to take is huge. Because what's going to happen is if you take an 1,800-foot swath down the entire length of this county, and you figure out how many acres that is, that can't be developed for homes. So look down Otterville Road. Look down Grafton Lane. That can't be developed anymore. The only thing that that's going to be good for is open space. You might put a shed on it, but you cannot develop it. You can't. So anybody that owned that property, they've lost the value. So the county loses the taxation of any increase in that property value. So one of the things that happened is that Champaign-Urbana actually put an ordinance in place that said, look, you got to keep so many things, you got to keep things so far away from the pipeline. You can only do certain things, and it follows the statute under the federal guidelines. Okay? Here's the Journal of Pipeline Safety. It says in here, if I get to the right point here, tells you all the reasons. Okay, the burn radius. Burn radius is, if you're close to the flame, how far away do you have to be? All right, in order to not get burned with a 24-inch diameter pipe, you got to be basically better than 1,200 feet away. Under the guidelines they have now, if something happens, you have only a 90% chance of escaping. So there's no guarantees that if you go to sleep in your house, pipeline goes, guess what? Too bad. So if you guys would enact something to make it so that that land is not usable except for the things that it's commonly accepted uses that it should be used for, like open ground, yeah, you can farm over it, you could put a shed up next to it, you could do certain things, it would allow those people at least to bargain in good faith with the people that are trying to take the property. Because right now, those people, the pipeline company, essentially are, well, we're not taking anything of value from you. Basically, they're taking probably about $40 million worth of value from landowners by making it so that people can't use their property anymore. So, I know you guys probably have not really thought about this, but if you figure out the amount of feet of pipe, and you go out 600 feet, and then you extend that to almost 2,000 feet on either side, and you figure out the acreage, it's a huge amount. And from a legislative standpoint, you guys have every reason to want to legislate people not building an apartment next to it. It's a problem. So, those are my comments.
When was this email that you said you were
It
sent?
has a tracking cookie in it. You got it.
When was it?
It was 2 weeks ago tomorrow, actually.
And what email address did you send it to?
I sent it to the one you always use for all your board stuff. A go guy at. That's where it went.
Well, send it again.
Probably got marked as spam and junk.
Yeah, probably was. All right, anyone else? Okay. Next item. Business has been covered. New business. Need a motion. Last month, you were provided with the audit for 2018 by Sheffield Boyle, and I need a motion to formally accept it this month. Motion by Ms. Krubak, second by Mr. Kruger. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. There is a resolution in your packet authorizing road closure on Illinois Route 100 for the Chautauqua fireworks display on August 3rd, 2019 from 9:15 p.m. to 9:45 p.m. Sheriff, there was no objection or issues coming from the sheriff's office?
I don't, unless the water goes away, I don't know how they're gonna handle it.
Well, I agree, but
Yeah, I think
and
there was an
the
issue with the
state's
sign.
attorney
Yeah.
had no issues
Yeah, no.
regarding the verbiage. So this is an annual thing that we've dealt with. Is there a motion to accept the resolution? Mr. Heitze, second by Mr. Townsend. Any questions? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. The third item is a resolution authorizing the waiver of property tax penalty fees for businesses and business-owned property affected by the flood located within the municipalities of Elsa and Grafton and Elsa and Quarry Townships. Also in there, this was brought up by one of the board members, perhaps Mr. Wagner, as far as any other businesses outside of the municipal jurisdictions. If we find any in any of the flood-affected townships, then the resolution authorizes the board chair to include those and submit those properties, parcel numbers, business ownership names to the treasurer as well. But the meat of this is the issue within Elsa and Grafton, and I think addresses what the mayor has, both mayors in fact, have talked about, and I will submit that to the board for your consideration. Motion made to adopt it by Mr. Kruger, second by Mary Rayner. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. A letter will go out tonight to Mayor Pitchford and to Mayor Eberlin, excuse me, to start the process of compiling lists and then get them into the board office. And
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The one item I have should be in your packet. It's an amendment to the preliminary engineering agreement with Hennigan Associates for our range line road improvements. August of last year, we had a contract that was approved by the board. It was a contract in the amount of $115,700, and that was an estimated cost based on their time to do the project. They have submitted an amendment to that engineering agreement for additional costs of $8,180.39. As I stressed, the cost before was an estimate, so this is their final cost. At this time, we're basically gonna stop work on the project out on Rangeline Road in regard to the Mid-America International Gateway Development Project until we hear more that's gonna go on with it. We haven't really heard much that's going on here. And we're having problems with the, as Chairman mentioned, the SEDS and that type of stuff. So we're just gonna put the project on hold until it may gear back up again, and then we'll deal with another contract at that time. They did a lot of work. This was, they did all their duties that was part of the original contract. So I'd ask just approval of this amendment to that engineering agreement.
Motion? Motion by Mr. Heisey. Is there a second? Mr. Hayes. Any discussion?
Any timeline that we know that they're gonna get back to us?
Nope, I have no idea.
Okay.
Scott, I mean, really,
No problem.
no, I really don't know
Process.
what's kind of going on.
All right. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Heisey?
Yes.
Ms. Drainer?
Yes.
Mr. Tonzer?
Yes.
Ms. Hefner?
Yes.
Mr. Wagner?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Chairman Little?
Yes.
Mr. Krueger?
Yes.
Ms. Kerback?
And that's all I had.
The capital bill has 24 million in, for the Delhi bypass.
That's the way I understand. I don't know
You
what,
haven't gotten any.
I haven't got any in regard to that. So, because I mean, that's a state project. There is in the capital bill with the gas tax increase of 19 cents a gallon. That part of that funding will come back to the counties and the township and municipalities. They're anticipating, I think, 394 million to come back, possibly based on, well, actually, the MFT, and with the increase, you'd see an increase of approximately, yeah, we would get back probably about 394 million or 400 million that would come back to the locals, and then that's broken out as another 20, I think it's another 32% of that we would get back as new MFT. So we're anticipating that our additional MFT we will receive on a yearly basis would increase by 68% for the townships and the counties and the municipalities. So to use for various projects. So that's part of the capital bill that happened and stuff. So, and in regard to the flood, I'll echo everything that Mike Morgan and the sheriff and everybody else said, that it's been a total team effort. We haven't had to really do much in regard to the flood. We've been down there helping, putting up signs, various locations and stuff. So that's really all our big duties right now. I know our duties will pick up here once the water goes down. We got to do a lot of debris cleanup and stuff down on Beltrees, Lock Haven, Desley, down in the Nutwood area. That'll be taking a lot of time. And we've been helping the townships out, assisting them, Richwood, and with a little bit of work too. So,
Tom, one of the items, as I search for it.
you're probably talking about the access into Lock Haven and
Right.
Beltrees Road. Yes, there was a meeting with some of those property owners tonight. I didn't attend. I think the board members got an invitation to that about access down into that area that was being down in the Lock Haven area. They were having a meeting at the country club. In regard to that, really there is two ways right now that could possibly be utilized. It's called Barton Lane. That can be raised up, but it's going to take a lot of money to raise Barton Lane up in Elsa Township with some various other roads around that area as access for those people to get in and out during a high flood condition. There also was an easement that was granted at one time to Elsa Township to build a temporary road across but at that time was the Byron Farrell property. We did some looking into that easement. There is some question about that easement, where that easement really is at, and where it doesn't really have, it has a starting point, it really doesn't have an ending point based on the legal description. So that's in question. It would take money to build that road. The township doesn't have that kind of money to build the road. That's what some of this meeting is about. I know they were talking about another option was raising, we all know, the River Road, Lock Haven Road. I mean, that would be quite expensive too. All these are going to take money for all this type of things to happen. So I think it was more of an informational meeting. I know I'll probably get more involved in it when the time comes with some of these people and stuff. because these people are concerned because they got a boat in and out down in there. They're higher end properties down in that area. And they're also concerned about their homes down there because really no emergency vehicles can get into there. So, but some of the consequences of moving there and stuff. So, I don't know if that answers some of the questions and people had in regard to that. It's just going to be a working process. It happened in 93. It was a big issue in 93 and the water was a lot higher. It's happened here in 2019. It happened 4 or 5 years ago when the water gets up to a certain point. It always does down there. So, and they're cut off from Lock Haven. They can't get out to the river road. They have to then go up through Elsa Hills, up through, and then come out Festival Road is what they have to do.
So there is a way out of that, or?
They have to boat. They have to, basically, they can park their car. They can actually walk through like maybe a quarter of a mile to get to their car, or they can boat out too and get to their cars. They have a couple different options. And they can also, these people that are down near the river road called Lock Haven Hill Estates, they actually can go through the golf course, but they have to take a golf cart or they have to walk through the golf course to get to a place where they can then walk again or boat across. So,
Well, ultimately, this may be something that gets planned for the next event.
right. And that's what I talked about, that easement. That easement was talked about for that future event, but you also, we're talking about a quarter of a mile of road that has to be built through pretty heavy terrain up and down, and to find that money, I mean, we all know that the county or the township doesn't have that kind of money laying around to do that, and we don't even know if we build it, whether we would get reimbursed back for it because of, it hasn't been declared a federal disaster type of situation. And the thing is, for the IEMA and stuff, has always been, they've looked at critical facilities. I mean, that was what was talked about in this flood was, we want to protect the levee system, we want to protect the water and the sewer systems and the roads. Basically, we're not there to get the people. I mean, they can move out voluntarily. We can't force them to move. Okay?
Anyone else?
Thank you.
Liquor control, there was a meeting, we met on May 29th and again on June 4th to take care of some issues. The items listed on the agenda: Grafton Winery, Class B; Wolves Crossing, Class B; Pear Marquette Lodge, Class B; Dewdrop Inn, Class B and C; Lake West Side, Class B; Moana's, Class B; Alton Motorboat Club, Class C and D; Package Plus Club; Wayland Hills American Legion, Class D; Tri-County Rod and Gun Club, Class D; Golf at Lock Haven, Class B; and Whiskey Creek, Class B, are all recommended for approval. And I will make that a motion for your consideration.
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Wagner. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. The other recommendation, this is for disapproval, is the 180 Talent Group Class A beer only. I'll make that a motion for your consideration.
I'll motion it.
All right. Second by Mr. Townsend. All those in favor of disapproval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. That's all for, we will be looking at some adjustments and modernization of the liquor control ordinance, and may have something for the board's consideration and action in July. Building and grounds, subdivision and land use. Does anyone pitch in for?
The Building and Grounds Committee met on the 6th of June, and we approved submittal of a resolution for the IHDA grant that's on our back?
Yes.
That's all, we tabled the ordinances because Cindy couldn't make it because she was watered in. That's all we have for the board tonight.
Derek, do you have any
Yeah, I have
further
a few things.
explanation?
Okay, I just have 3 things. They should,
This will be on the resolution, or is this the housing development?
yes,
All right,
yeah, it should be in your
let's take
packets.
that one first.
Okay, our office would like to ask the board to accept and approve the resolution for the abandoned residential property municipal relief program. Through our office, Jersey County has been awarded $20,000 in funds to mitigate these abandoned properties. And this will be the second round that we've done this. We've already done 1 round of funding last year. And we plan to use this on 2 separate properties.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Mr. Krueger, seconded by Mr. Heising. Any questions? Comments? All right, roll call, please.
Okay. Ms. Greener.
Yes.
Mr. Tonser.
Yes.
Ms. Hefner.
Yes.
Mr. Wagner.
Yes.
Mr. Hayes.
Yes.
Chairman Little.
Yes.
Mr. Krueger.
Yes.
Ms. Heitzig. I'm sorry, Ms. Kerback. Mr. Heitzig.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Just informational right there.
Yeah, the rest is all just informational.
Okay.
I only have one
Hold on.
resolution.
Gary, was there anything else from Building and Grounds coming regarding the repairs?
Yes, we had bids on the guttering, and the low bid was from Gary Scott. And I would recommend, make a motion to accept the low bid from Scott, Gary Scott guttering. Second.
Motion made by Mr. Krueger, seconded by Mr. Wagner. Any discussion, questions? Call the roll on this one.
That's this building and
The West Central
West
Criminal
Central
Justice.
also, with gutters and, new gutters and downs.
All right.
All the way around?
Yeah.
Roll call.
Yes, roll call, please.
Ms. Hefner.
Yes.
Mr. Wagner.
Yes.
Mr. Hayes.
Yes.
Chairman Little.
Yes.
Mr. Krueger.
Yes.
Ms. Kerback.
Yes.
Mr. Heitzig.
Yes.
Ms. Drainer.
Yes.
Mr. Tonser.
Yes.
The work, which I considered an emergency issue because it was leading water directly into the building, but the application of the asphalt and some adjustments appeared to do the trick as far as diverting water away from the building and before it had been coming up to and coming into the building. So kudos to the Building and Grounds Committee on that. Nothing more on the HVAC, cell tower, or mobile home?
Well, the one HVAC in
Has
that
already
office
been
is
done.
repaired.
Right.
That's going to take care of it. And the mobile home ordinance and the cell tower ordinance will take.
Okay. That's it? Okay. Thank you. Information from the County Offices Committee. We had a meeting on June 3rd, and the steps that are being taken to determine the problems experienced by some of the offices regarding the computer and internet speed. Testing has been done and was Was there any, was the gremlin found, or?
Everything was working well, so the testing didn't produce anything, but I haven't noticed any problems since either, and we got some clarification as to exactly what we're paying for and what we should expect.
Okay. Is there any further steps?
Well, as part of this cyber security stuff with elections that we've talked about off and on, they will be coming through with the Illinois Century Network, which will probably impact this building and only broaden our opportunities for more speed and better service. It won't replace probably what we have, it'll just
Enhance.
Okay.
And then, of course, provide that secure connection for the elections office.
All right.
That's in cooperation with the Sheriff's Office and Illinois Department of Innovation and Technology.
Very good.
We may be needing to get some information on equipment and how the hookups will be progressing.
County officials report. There's the only sheriff. Did you have anything else related to? You had passed out some information regarding statistics and such.
That's just an information on what happened in the month of May. Obviously, this next month will be a little slower.
Okay.
All our folks have been on the flood. I asked the guys that, a third of the county is basically shut down, but the other 2/3 is running hard. So they went and gave that some love, more or less, and filled the jail up, and we even put them on the floor. So that's where we're at right now.
Now, Jersey County Code Administrator, Derek.
I just have two other things that's kind of informational. Recently, we started work on the multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan, and I'd just kind of like to give an update. The current plan that the county has will not expire until 2021. We have recently started the update process. Grant application was submitted using the FEMA eGrant software, but unfortunately, currently IEMA and FEMA are at odds and they're not agreeing on what's going on, and a glitch happened when we submitted our grants to FEMA, so they did not accept any grants from the state of Illinois whatsoever. So after all that happened, we'll be able to resubmit them this fall, and we did have a contract with Two Rivers Management to do the new plan, and we spoke with them and they said they would be able to extend their contract to this fall when we'll be able to apply for that grant.
All right.
Okay, I just have one other thing, and I put it in the packets for everyone to look at regarding the Silver Jackets group that we had. They are with the Corps of Engineers. The Silver Jackets group uses information from local, state government agencies to combine to provide the study on the hazards in the county and how to mitigate them. The data that they pulled for this study was from 1993 to 2017, and the study shows in the event of a flood the size of 93 flood, there would be $17 million worth of assets and houses that would not be lost due to the mitigation that has been done. And after doing this study on the county, they have rated us as the 3rd floodplain in the state of Illinois for mitigation.
All right.
Anybody have any questions on that? Good.
All right.
Thank you.
Under the chairman's report, before we get into the meeting,
Who wants to talk?
yes. Would you like to speak?
I'd love to.
All right. It's rare I can get you in here.
I'm going to make you so happy come Friday.
All right.
Tax bills go out Friday. They're ready to go. It's a week earlier than last year. The first due date will be July 19th. Second due date will be September 6th, which is just a day earlier than last year. In general, the county tax rate went down. I think the school tax rate went down. Thanks to the TIF district dissolving, we picked up all that assessed value. There are some townships that'll see an increase in taxes due to the multiplier and farmland assessment, especially if I understand right, the lighter soils is up. That's established by the state. The county has no control over it. I know this is not a beautiful time to be sending out tax bills with the flooding situation, but our hands are basically tied. Don's checked with the Department of Revenue. They gave us no other options. It's pretty much follow the schedule. You have approved the waiving of penalties until I believe it will be October 18th, which is the day the next working day would be Monday when I have to apply for my tax sale. Well, probably any business applies except for Peter because he forgot me.
You were there too.
So we can put Peter back in that. But I've never had a problem. I do not believe what the Grafton business is paying on time. So we're not losing any penalty money. And we do collect about $40,000 in penalties in a year for the general fund from late tax payments. But as I said, Grafton has not been a problem historically. Their businesses, they're pretty good about paying for the due dates. So we're not losing anything. You're just trying to help people out that have really been set back. When you can't open and run a business, it's hard to make money. So, but Donna's done due diligence, I think, checking the Department of Revenue, because I was told nothing could be done really, and he was given the same information. So we've all tried. We've checked with other I've checked with other treasurers in the area. So we've done the best. And as far as if you don't get your tax bills down there, if you can't get to the post office to get them, and I haven't been to Grafton, I don't know the situation.
There's no mail problems. Everybody's getting their mail.
But if there's a problem, they're quite welcome. We can make the copies up here, no problem. When they come in, as long as we know where they're at or how many they've got. That's the biggest problem. Sometimes we don't know corporate names or...
Right. I've talked to the post office and there's no issues with mail. Everybody's been getting it.
Okay.
So that's good.
And like I said, we'll take them over here at the post office Friday morning. So my situation with the post office, usually what goes in Friday morning will be in your mailbox Monday. Because about 11 o'clock Monday morning, people will be here to pay their tax bill. I won't be one of them, believe me.
All right.
But if you've got any questions about property taxes, that's the closest I can come to you. Is you'll probably see, like in Jerseyville, my house went down $48 because our school taxes are down, our county taxes are down. School taxes aren't down, neither the county, but we picked up $17 million in assessed valuation, which, if you'd seen the article in the Telegraph recently that Chris Slusher put in from Madison County, taxes are based on your assessment, the rate, your exemptions, and the multiplier. And it's, but farmland is the biggest increase that I saw. And then I think in Piasaw Township, their multiplier was a little higher because it had been a while since they'd been hit. I can tell you the chairman's tax bill went up.
By a little over $100.
I was all ready to brag to him about went down. I looked it up and, oh well. Got to give him the bad news. But Don has worked, I think he went above the call to try to do the best he could to see what we could do for the flood victims. And believe me, speaking for all of us in this building, the quick work that you guys or somebody did on this flooding situation we had was well appreciated by all of us.
Especially those of us downstairs.
They had their own swimming pool, but it wasn't very clean and it wasn't very nice, but the quick work on it, we're very appreciative of it over here.
Well, as for your efforts on my tax bill, as some friends have said, wait till next year. So. Thank you, Kim. Two resolutions of sympathy. These came in late after the agenda had already been put together. The first one is for our colleague, Jared Hayes. His grandfather, Jim Hayes, James E. Hayes, passed away on May 31st. Jared, our sympathies are with you, and I would like to have a motion to adopt a resolution of sympathy for the Hayes family. Ms. Kerback, second by Mr. Townsend. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Again, our sympathies to you and your family. Second one is reference to Larry Dale the Hammer Fry. He, I think, was instrumental in the early years of Linda Drainer, employee in the deputy county clerk in the county clerk's office. Mr. Fry passed this last week. So I would like to have a motion to sympathy for the Fry family and for Ms. Drainer. Mr. Heitzig, second by Mary Drainer. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. As I've stated last month, and then again in part this month, with the ongoing issues with West Central Development Council, sent a FOIA request on May 21st requesting information related to the filing of a complaint involving one or more Economic Development Administration representatives. I have received, the only thing I've received was the statement from Mr. Scheer of West Central that he was advised that he could not release any information based upon, quote, whistleblower considerations. There has been a long, ongoing lack of response from West Central regarding, particularly on the issue of an updated or any plan to bring an updated comprehensive economic development strategy document to the forefront. I've run out of patience. I've run out of options. I don't know. I can't get any response or cooperation from some of the other counties as far as what they want to do. I would like or ask the board to provide authorization that until there's a comprehensive plan not only drafted but also implemented by West Central, that we would hold further dues payments to that organization. I ask for a motion and a second, and hopefully an affirmative vote on the motion. Ms. Cravat, Mr. Townsend, discussion? All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. I will advise Mr. Scheer of the action of this board. There are other boards that have stopped making dues payments for, as it's turned out, as long as 10 to 15 years, but yet there's been no action. I don't know what else to do in relation to that organization. Maybe this will get their attention. The second item, the 5311 application that we passed. This is in relation to the transit program, and it dealt with, I believe, 2020 fiscal year 2020 funding has been, the application has been approved and is on its way to, with all the other additional paperwork, and the GATA requirements from the transit program that the treasurer has expressed a fondness for. Anyway, that's been approved and it's on its way for implementation. The animal control report from May 2019 was in your packet. I'd like to have a motion to accept that and place that on file.
I make a motion.
Ms. Hefner, Mr. Hayes. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. The committee minutes for the month of May 2019. Finance, May 1st. Tourism, May 6th. Road and Bridge, May 7th. Claims, May 14th. Liquor Control, May 29th. And Building and Grounds, May 30th. A motion to accept those and place them on file. Ms. Drainer, second by Ms. Hefner. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. As also mentioned, the capital bill passed, 24 million allocated. Originally, the figure was bandied around with 16 million, so additional funds for the Delhi bypass. As soon as I receive any information, I will certainly pass it along. That's all I have. We have no closed session requirements. Any additional public comment from anyone? Yes, Sheriff.
Sorry, I should have mentioned this earlier. Tomorrow is Cindy Wagner's anniversary date. Jersey County Sheriff's Office will be employed with us 30 years. If anybody would like to shoot her a phone call and say something, I'd appreciate it.
All right, thank you very much. We appreciate her longevity in service. Hopefully another 20 years will be.
You better not leave, or we're all going to.
Okay. No other business other than a reminder. The board meeting for July is on Wednesday, July 10th, for the wishes of this board, and it will be at 6:30. So claims needs to maybe meet as early as possible to get that out of the way, and then we will meet here. I will do my best to provide a light agenda for that. Pardon?
Maybe claim you could meet after the meeting.
I leave that to the able men and women on the claims committee.
I do have,
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Chairman, I have one note. Due to the flooding, the family fish fair has been canceled, and they are in the process of sending the money back.
All right. Well, hopefully drier weather next year and dry land, and we'll have it again. It's been a very successful and fun time for people, particularly like me, and you can't catch it and stay their lives. Anything else from anyone? All right. Is there a motion for mileage and per diem? Mr. Heitzik, Mr. Hayes. Call the roll.
Mr. Wagner?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Chairman Little?
Yes.
Mr. Krueger?
Yes.
Ms. Herback? Mr. Heitzig?
Yes.
Ms. Drainer?
Yes.
Mr. Tonzer?
Yes.
Ms. Hefner?
Yes.
Caney was ill tonight. Hopefully it's nothing more serious than cold and flu, but if you can check on him and give him good wishes for a speedy recovery. I can't frankly recall Ed ever missing a meeting, so this may be the first one. Hopefully it's an old one. Is there a motion to adjourn? Who made it? Mr. Heitzik, the motion monster. Mr. Hayes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. We are adjourned at 8:13. For those who are fathers, happy Father's Day next Sunday. May you get everything you deserve.